Sade Oke is a passionate teens mentor whose greatest joy is seeing teenagers and young adults cross into adulthood with gladness and fulfillment. Due to her extensive commitment to this cause, she has served and still serves in various capacity working with teenagers and young adults within the church community and the career circle. She is a seasoned human resource practitioner who believes that a self-motivated employee is a focused and engaged person who is committed to excelling, not because he or she is being compelled to, but does so out of personal determination and responsibility. She is an adherent believer of the truth that access to the appropriate knowledge and mentorship will boost employees, including teenagers and young adults, self-worth and knowledge base, leading on to a productive and profitable life. Sade enjoys reading, carrying out research activities, writing, sharing knowledge, and creating avenues for teenagers and young adults to express their all-round potentials. She is the author of You Are a Great Edifice, a book written with so much love to teens and young adults. She resides in Lagos, Nigeria, with her wonderful husband and children. Please welcome Sade Oke.
Good afternoon. I'm very sure we have learned so much today. I won't take your time because ordinarily by now you should have finished. And usually when I have the opportunity to talk to parents of teenagers, I like to have feedback from teenagers. Unfortunately, this time I have. A couple of months, a group reached out to me that they needed teenagers to give them feedback, about parenting. And they had 3 questions for them. What parents are expected to be doing? What are the qualities or values parents are expected to possess? If you were to advise parents on how to handle the expectations of their children, what would you say? So I sent 2 teenagers to them, a male and female. And the first thing that they said on what parents are expected to be doing is always ask of our well-being. Always ask of our well-being, because we go to school, we go through challenges. So when we come back, ask us, how was school? What happened? So that was the first thing from the first speaker. The second thing, which I've heard time and time again from my teenagers, is avoid public disgrace of your children. So correcting public disgrace is different from scolding or correcting us outside when we are wrong. That's not when we are outside you start saying, or maybe a teenager has told me before that is when my friends are around, then my mom will start saying, you've not washed that plate, you've not done this, so that they don't want to be disgraced. They also said, act what you teach as a parent. The 2 of them gave 2 examples that if you as a mother, you say, don't litter the house, and you are the same person, you eat biscuit, you throw it on the floor, that they learn more by watching us as parents. Or you say, don't go, to people's house too much, or don't go to that place, but it's the exact thing that you do. Then they also said, not all things call for beating. Parents should know when a child needs to be beaten and when a child needs to be spoken to. In fact, one of them said that it is true. The Bible says, spare the rod, spoil the child, but that it is not all the time. There are times that you communicate, you speak to them. Then another person, the same thing. We need encouragement about daily challenges. So they are also human. They go through a lot. They want us as parents to talk to them. How was your day? So we are not the only one with issues. They also have issues. I know, especially teenagers, their issues are quite many. We have the issue of identity crisis. They are not children, neither are they adults. They are in between. A lot of things, statistics shows, depression among teenagers because so many things going on in their mind. So they also need encouragement from us as parents. Then appreciation. When we do the right thing, appreciate us. Getting complaints to everything demoralizes our emotions, and picking some things as it was written there. Then be our advisor. As children, we always want to seek advice from our parents, but lack of communication and act of shunning us always makes us to keep to ourselves, and it makes us to make wrong and hasty decisions. So our children truly want to be friends with us. Our children, we are their number one hero. They want to talk to us. Most of them want to be like us, but sometimes I know the cares of life, so many things, we are busy being pulled in different directions. We should make time to talk to them and to also advise them. Then the second question, what are the qualities or values parents are expected to possess? Patience. They want teenagers, children, they want parents to be patient with them. Rome was not built in a day. They are growing, so be patient. And be understanding towards the parents. Then ability to mentor us. Said mentoring us should be teaching us by example. We tend to follow steps of our parents as we primarily believe that it is the right thing to do. I'm picking that as it was written. So parents want us as parents to be their number one mentor. They want to learn from us. So say mentor us. And when you mentor, it means that you have walked that path and you are able to teach it. And not teaching, not just talking, you lead by example. That's how our parents should be honest with us. Tell us the truth. Don't hide things. Don't lie to us. And another person said, spirit of discernment. For them it will be a joy if their parents are able to say, no, don't go to that place. In fact, one of them gave an example that there was a time a sister was given a wristwatch in the school. And, because maybe the mom is a prayerful person, she was able to realize that there was something wrong, with that particular wristwatch, which they later found out to be true. So parents, teenagers and children want us to be like their spiritual watchtower, to be able to guide them. So they expect that, we should be discerning as parents. And if you were to advise parents on how to handle the expectations of their children, what should you say? Number one thing that was said is that let us know that we cannot always have what we want, but when it is available, we will have it. So they want the truth. And our speakers have said it. Tell them, let them know, I don't have this at this time, but when it is available, you are going to have it. Help them not to have the mindset that they don't need to work because their parents have money and things will just fall in place for them. So help us not to have that mindset, because some people are rich. It means that everything just drops on your lap. And like Coach said, you must do these things in their presence. Let them see you do it. And that's why the children also want to see it, because they want to have a good mindset. And encourage and model hard work to us. Model hard work to us. The things you want to see in us, do it, because we learn faster. When we watch you do it and we're able to follow you. Teach us, the children and teenagers, the realities of life. Don't color it for us. We know that the times are hard. There's insecurity all the time. But teach us. One gave example, said, teach us that not all that glitters are gold. Not all wants are needs. So they want us to teach them the realities of life. We break it down to their level so that they're able to understand. So with this feedback from our teenagers, talking about the parented parents of the teenagers. So I have 5 skills that as parents of teenagers, we must begin to work on. We must begin to look at now. It's like a train the trainer. Times are not as it is. Our previous speakers, they have said so many things. We cannot parent the same way that we were parented. If they tell us go, the watchword then was obey before complain. You will go. Before you now realize that, why did I go? But now these children, they will ask you why. So we must start with that why. When we want to give them instruction, let that why come to you. Receive an answer for the why. Preempt, okay, they can ask me this, so that we'll be able to reach them. So the first skills for us to be able to, as parental parents, our decision-making skills. I have 5 here, which I'll quickly run through. Decision-making skills, our connection skills, communication skills, mentoring skills, and assessment and mastery. So for the decision-making, we know that we all make decisions, how we arrive at a conclusion after a consideration. And when we talk about consideration, most times you spend time in time in thinking about the decisions and all that. So the way we make decisions will, because now we know that these children, they are watching us. So the way we make decisions will impact, will rub on how they eventually, learn to make their own decisions. And if we are so spontaneous, we are so spontaneous with some decisions, it may impact them. And there are times that you need to involve them, especially in decisions that will affect them. Such as, you want to change their school. You want to change the children's school. Like when I was in GSS 2, it was a visiting day. My father just came. I thought he came to visit me, and he said, "Go and pack your bag. You are going to another school." I didn't know he was working on another school for me. I had pending things. People had their things with me. Others who had my things, and I had to leave. It took me a while to settle in the new school, and for a long time, because I had connections. When I see people, I'm like, could it be this person in my former secondary school? So we need relocation. You just wake up and say, we are relocating next month. Forgetting that they are humans. They have connections here. They have friends. And you now get to that place, since he came to this United Kingdom, he's just been acting up. He didn't plan for it. So there are some decisions that we need to carry them along. So we must involve them, especially those that impact them, because they are humans. So connection skills as parents. Of course, connection is a relationship in which a person or a thing is linked or associated with something. We must first realize that our children are human. The same way, whatever it is that you feel, your children feel it. And the difference is that you as an older person, you understand. But most of you, they don't understand. They don't understand why they are feeling that way. So we must treat them, understand that our children are human. If you feel tired, they feel tired. They wake up so early, some wake up 5, getting ready for school, then you bring them back in the evening. If you are tired, they are even more tired. So we must know that, treat them as human. If sometimes as women, we just want somebody to take care of us. Those children, they feel that way, so it's just that they may not know how to communicate. So we must create time to bond intentionally with our children. Create time to bond with them. We need to connect. When we are able to connect with them, then communication will be easy. So we must create time to bond with our children. Bond, have games. Have times that you come together to watch a movie as a family. There was a training I went for. We did a game, zip, zap. When I got home, it was even after devotion in the morning, I said, so let's warm up, and we did it. We had a good laugh. So let's create opportunity, as it works for your family, especially when you have a teenager. And if you have children in their formative age, 0 to 10, let's give it more attention, because it is what we sow. In those first 10 years, we will reap it as a teenager. And in our connection, in our decision-making, we must ensure stability for the children. Because if, you can just wake up one day, I'm tired of living in this side of town, or I know that different things can make people move from location to location. But when you have a child, in the space of 5 years of primary education, the child has gone to 5 different schools. So we must really take, in our decision-making, we must do things that ensure stability. I know that there are situations that warrant that. So when we are making our decision, that is, and it is important that we have to keep moving, we must carry them along. Then in creating more connection, you must have a balance between friendship and firmness. We must be our teenagers' friends. We must be firm also with them. our first speaker, the MD, he talked about his relationship with his sons, how, he allows them. So we must be their friend. So that and when you are their friend, they know that, okay, that is my friend and he's firm. They wouldn't want to hurt you. They will not want to hurt you, but you say, no, I'm your mother. I can't be your friend. Or I'm your father, I'm not. No, it's not going to work, because whatever it is that we do now, we are going to repeat. Later, you are now old, you are calling them, come and check me now. Oh, mom, I'm busy. But if you are their friend now, it will not take them anything to keep the relationship going when you are older. Of communication skill, which may involve speaking, writing, or using some other medium, for our children, we must come to their level. Children under 10 come to their level. Now they have said, teach us, tell us the reality of life. So you want to tell them about insecurity. You have to break it down and tell them, okay, this is why we cannot do this. They said, don't color things for us. Tell us. But that encourages us to be able to break it down, how they can assimilate it and understand it. And we must give them the reason why they need to do things. As parents, we should stop saying, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that, when we are not giving them a replacement, or we are not telling them other things to do. Mentoring, the relationship between two people with the goal of personal development. From the feedback, children, teenagers, they want their parents to be their mentor. So which means we have to learn what it takes to be a mentor. How can I mentor my children? The truth is, the end goal is their growth and development. So how can I mentor them so that they look up to me? So we must model, and one of the ways is we must model values that we desire in them. We must walk the talk. Don't say something and do another thing. And lastly, assessment and mastery. As a parent, we have to commit to personal assessment. Sometimes the way we relate with our children, with our teenagers, is because we are not being true to ourselves. We are not being true to ourselves. We must constantly do habit and trait assessment for yourself. For instance, because there are some things that you see in your children that you don't like. If you really check, those things are probably things that you have done before, or you are still exhibiting without you acknowledging it. Or it could be those things that you tend to dominate over. So it's like two masters now wants to be in the same ship. Then there will be friction. So we must assess ourselves. My son, and my firstborn, when he talks, he does like this. He'll be doing his hand like this. And my husband, he didn't like it. He has reduced it now. And sometimes, when he was younger, he would almost beat him just for doing that, talking like a girl. And me, I've seen my husband do that all the time. And when I tell him, but you do, he said, no, I don't do that. So we went for an event, and in that event, he had to come out. It was his friend's surprise party, and he had to come out to talk. Fortunately for all of us, while he was talking, they took nice shots of him with his hand like this, and they sent to us. I said, see, it was until that, and I'm talking about last year. That was when he agreed that, I do this. So sometimes if we really check, there are things that we do that we don't like in ourselves, or we have not realized it. My daughter, when she's really concentrating on something, she sits forward and she's so focused. And I don't like it. I quarrel with her. Fortunately, I was sitting in front of a mirror, and I was engrossed in what I was reading, and I just looked up. I was forward like this. I said, this is where she picked it from. So I've started adjusting myself, and I'm dealing with her differently. So we must assess ourselves, because now we are talking about the parented parent, and we have to discover it. know the source. Am I the source? Correct it. When the source of that habit or behavior in your children may not be you, it may be people in your house or people around you, then you need to correct it so that it doesn't continue. Then, of course, we recognize the traits. I've talked about that. We must acknowledge it and begin to work on it. Your child displays hunger. Have you checked yourself? Because they are learning from us. They are lazy. Have you checked yourself? They don't want to do anything serious. We need to look inward, look at ourselves. What am I doing? We have to acknowledge it that, okay, I do this thing. I know the thing is, by the time our children go follow us on that habit, it becomes magnified. Maybe you do yours just, in little way, you just throw paper on the floor in the house. They will not only throw it on the floor in the house, in their school they will throw it, out of the bus they will throw it, because they are supposed to be greater than us, right? So whatever it is that they are learning from us, it becomes magnified. So in summary, I've given the feedback. The teenagers, our children, want us to treat them as human, encourage them. They also need the encouragement. Be honest with them. Be honest with them. Tell them the truth. Model what the values you want. Walk the talk and not just do the talking. And I've mentioned the skills that we as parents must begin to learn, how we make decisions, how we connect with our teenagers and our children, our communication skills, and our mentoring, because they want us to be their mentor, and also to commit ourselves to personal assessment. Sometimes ask the children for feedback. We do that yearly. We do that yearly in my house. So how did we fare as parents last year? What did we do well? What did we not do well? And this has encouraged them, to stay their mind. Sometimes they say it, I feel bad, but I go back and I think about it. And I'm very sure that when we commit to do this, it will help our family. So let's have the talk with that child. Have the talk. Okay, maybe you notice there has been some friction. Give me feedback. What do you really want? What do I do that is not working? And you begin to work on it. Thank you. How do parents manage teenager siblings always fighting, sibling rivalry? My daughter and my son, they used to fight a lot. They fought so much that it became an issue, as it became a concern for us as parents. And every time they were fighting, unconsciously, we took side. Why are you treating your sister like that? Why are you talking to your brother like that? One day, my son called me and said, siblings fight. And they settle it. And sometimes they will be fighting, they will say, we are playing. I said, what kind of play? But that day, they called me and said, siblings fight, and we will settle it. I said, okay, but the way you fight, the way you shout, it comes with lots of anger. And we had a talk. We had a talk on the anger it was displaying, why it was displaying, and we were able to tell our concerns about it. The relationship has improved. So many factors could contribute to it. It will still come back to us as parents. How do we manage relationship between our children? Do we show that this child is better than the other, favoritism? Because unconsciously we do it. And most times it's the boy, don't talk to a girl like that. Don't do this to a girl like that. So all they keep hearing is don't. And it's like, what is it? Is this person the only child in this house? So we have to consciously look at ourselves. Are there ways in which we are encouraging it? Are there ways in which we are putting them against each other? Then we talk to them, separately. Let them know that, okay, this is what is happening. And we may even discover traits that they need to start working on. like anger, like, being irritated easily. There are things that can be worked on. So it's an opportunity, it's an opportunity for us to learn and for us to help them to move out of that stage. I hope I answered the question. How can you get through to a stubborn child? Love. Everybody responds to love. Everybody responds to love. And stubborn is relative. Stubborn is relative. Children are different. Children are different. Like my last baby, he's different from his siblings. So different that sometimes I'm like, this gentle me, this boy, he's so different. He's young, but he will tell you, he knows what he wants. He tells you no, and you say, leave the place. So I realized that if we keep shouting, because the tendency is that for a stubborn child, you will start shouting, leave the place, stop it. It's like that shouting makes them, Yes. So we need to change our approach as parents. Let's throw away the shout. Let's throw away the shout. Like my son, before he became fully potty trained, he knows that he needs to go to the toilet. But when he's watching cartoon, he just stays there and pee. So, but usually that will attract some, light. It may not be light sometimes, and shouting and all that. But after I came to myself, the day he did that. As I just came in, he did that. I told myself, I took a pause. I was not like, so why did you do that? You should go to the toilet. So now, go and switch off the TV. You won't watch for the next 30 minutes. The way I talked, he was expecting the usual reaction. He went to the TV himself and switched it off. He had finished, he went to take his potty and sat on it without doing anything. So we need to change our approach. Let's stop shouting for once. Of course, I used to be a shouter. I'm still working through the course. Until my daughter told me that when you shout, you take the peace of this house away. So, but I'm a lot better, really. Because, so we need to, let's throw shouting out of it. Let's own our communication skills. Let's begin to connect with them. Don't let us pump, all those things.